Hi everybody, my name's Bob Saunders, and today I'm going to talk to you about our galaxy. Now, somebody contacted me a little while ago and he asked this question. I'm going to read it. If planet Earth is the only one that has life on the surface, as I've explained in another video, the only one with life on the surface, and it is our job to raise energy to replace the energy used to create this planet Earth, what about all the other planets that don't have life on them? Who replaces that energy? And I thank you for the question. Good question. The answer is quite simple. On many, many planets, there is actually life in the etheric and astral realms, as I've explained in another video. Now, when we who are on planet Earth here incarnate in what we call 3D, when we pray and meditate and try to send energy back up through the spheres to replace the energy that was used to create all this, we're not using physical energy, we are using astral, if you like, esoteric energy, spiritual energy. Now, on the other planets, the beings that are in the astral realms can still do that, because what we're doing is using spiritual energy from our astral bodies to help replace the energy that was used to create planet Earth in the first place. And those beings can do the same because they're already in their astral bodies, so that they can still send the energy back up. It's exactly the same as what we do, except that they don't have physical bodies to do it with. They're using their astral bodies, very much as we, when we pray, use our astral bodies. Okay? Does that make sense? Hope so. Thank you for posing the question, by the way, whoever did it. Now, this made me think about the galaxy, and I'd like to try and explain that our galaxy is actually a living entity. Now, I'm going to explain it by using an analogy. Imagine that we had a ginormous 3D telescope that was capable of concentrating on a human. It could be an animal or whatever, but let's take just a human and blow that image up to the size of the galaxy. Okay, if we had a microscope that was capable of enlarging our physical body until it was the size of a galaxy, what would we see? We'd see countless atoms, the atoms that go to make up our body, countless atoms floating in endless space. If we reduced the enlargement back down to unity, we would just see a physical body. If we enlarge it again until we were the size of the galaxy, we would look effectively very much like a galaxy. Now, I will just say at this point that those who have immediately pointed out a flaw in my logic, in that atoms are not little round dots, they're something totally different from that. Bear with me, I'm speaking in analogies, right? And we need to try and imagine that each one of the atoms that go up to make a physical body, whatever it might be, are little dots of energy, okay? So I repeat, if somebody could have a microscope powerful enough, they could enlarge the human body to the size of a galaxy, and it would look very much like a galaxy. However, we know that it wouldn't be just empty space and little planets dotted about all over the place. We know that it's actually a living, thinking creature because it's a human body just enlarged. Can you understand that? Now, that takes us on to the concept that if we think of the galaxy as a living body, but we are too small to be able to step back and see what it really looks like, if we could see it all condensed down into something, we see it as little dots of what we call planets, and we see endless empty space. But in reality, the whole of our galaxy is a living entity that is also pouring energy back into the God spheres to replace the energy that was used to make all that in the first place. I'm not sure I've done a very good job of explaining that, but anyway, now this takes us on to another concept. If it's true that we are actually made of little dots that we call atoms floating in endless space, if we could see our body enlarged to that degree, then it also, and we're walking about on one of those dots that we call planet Earth, it also presupposes that if I take one atom of my body and if I could enlarge it to the size of a planet, in all probability I would see little beings walking about on that atom. Okay? So I think it's true to say that we could go endlessly down and down and down in size and still have life of some sort. Equally, we could take our galaxy, and if we could shrink it down until it was the size of what would look like a person, we would see that it is actually a living creature, probably standing on a planet that is actually so vast that we can't even imagine it. But it's the same concept as us being here on this planet. So the galaxy is actually a living creature, probably standing on another planet. And it would go on and on and on like that. So I think that from the very most minuscule thing that one could imagine up to the most ginormous thing far beyond what we could imagine is life. And the whole concept of that life is what we call God. Okay? I've done my best to explain a rather complicated subject. Simply, I'm not sure that I've done a very good job. If you can't understand it, tell me, and I'll have another go at it. It's not terribly important, but I think it's interesting to imagine that our entire galaxy, all the planets that we see out there in the night sky, well, I know we're looking at suns and all that, but imagine that around those suns are countless little planets and so on. The whole of that is making up the body of some enormous creature who, in turn, could be walking about on a planet far, far larger than our galaxy is, and on and on and on like that. Okay? So, thank you for listening to me, and I'll speak to you again another day on another topic. Bye.